on the campaign trail in Andhra Pradesh, and we are going to be trailing Nara Chandrababu Naidu, the former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and of course the TDP President, who is on a whirlwind tour of the state. How is it going, sir?
How are you? Going
I'm
on
good,
well?
sir. We will be trailing you the whole day today to see how the response on ground really is. We look forward to connecting with you throughout the day, sir.
Yeah.
As we are on the campaign trail with Chandrababu Naidu in the state of Andhra Pradesh, we are right now joined by a few, people who have actually excelled in their own spaces as far as professionals are concerned. And these people are here today to participate in a TDP rally. And of course, they do understand that the contribution of Chandrababu Naidu has been immense as far as entrepreneurs are really concerned, especially at one point in time when Andhra Pradesh was also known as Andhrapreneurs as well. Ma'am, you tell me about the Rising India. We're talking about India developed completely by 2047. As far as Andhra Pradesh is concerned, what are your key concerns right now being a citizen of this state?
So, as we know, when Chandrababu Naidu ji came into the rule in 1995, our state budget is hardly 25,000 crores. But by the time he left the position of the Chief Minister in 2004, it is 1 lakh crores. It has grown to 1 lakh crores because of the commitment he has and because of the IT sector that he has got into the state of Andhra Pradesh. Now, because of the efforts of Chandrababu Naidu, now IT exports of Hyderabad, which he has invested most of his time in, is approximately 2 lakh crores, which is definitely not a small thing. It is because of his vision, it is because of his efforts. We are all there settled as software engineers and employees. We are very grateful for the contributions which a leader like Chandrababu Naidu has done for the state. So
We'll try and speak to a couple of other people as well. We're talking about IT as well. Now, IT, Hyderabad is all identified with, Chandrababu and his contributions as well. If you can tell me what is it that, the people of Hyderabad in particular, the people of Andhra Pradesh, what do they aspire for, from here on?
They aspire for enhancing the IT industry and providing more employment. In fact, there has been no employment at all in Andhra Pradesh. The entire youth here look forward for employment, which is only possible with CBN Garu.
Ashwast hai कि politicians will do what they are promising?
Chandrababu Naidu is a well-proved man. He's already proved it. He can create the jobs. You see Hyderabad. Now, right now, we don't have any capital in Andhra. आपने एक दिया, इधर एक capital भी नहीं है. हम कैसे jobs आते हैं? कैसे आता है? एक development भी नहीं है. कैसे jobs आते हैं? Chandrababu is a development man. He's a development man. He's a man of development. He can create the jobs. He already proved it.
Has been a long and intense day of campaigning, and finally we have the man who of course is trying to make his mark felt yet again in the state of Andhra Pradesh, something that he actually was able to conceive very early. We're joined by Chandrababu Naidu as we speak to him about the elections ahead. Sir, you are speaking about changing the future for Andhra Pradesh. This time around, what is there in your mind? Because you've been quite a visionary. You spoke about the IT hub, you spoke about the development. What are you thinking for the people of Andhra Pradesh this time?
For the last 5 years, we are suffering a lot. One is bifurcation. Because of bifurcation, always we fought. It is not a scientific way, or justice has not been to Andhra Pradesh. 5 years, I worked very hard. You know my track record. In Telangana, that is a combined Andhra Pradesh, I was able to develop Hyderabad and also very strong foundation for IT. Because of that, all over the world now Telugu community is doing extremely well.
Sir, would you feel that the people of Andhra Pradesh will feel cheated? You made a very emotional call to walk out of the NDA alliance because you wanted the special status. Jagan Mohan Reddy has spoken about it, but it has still not been delivered for the people of Andhra Pradesh. Do you think the people of Andhra Pradesh feel cheated?
I don't want to say cheated. Issue is, I was very sensitive and more responsive. And at the time, I was in the opinion if they won't give special status, even Jagan Mohan Reddy will exploit. Our people are very, very sensitive. Because of bifurcation, Congress lost its total stake in Andhra Pradesh. If you can go through after independence, so many elections they have won. Up to Telugu Desam, only Congress. After Telugu Desam, I can say equal, one time will win, one time they will win, sometimes more we have won. So I was very, very panic about special status. I couldn't get it, then I deferred. But people didn't bother about all these things. So we lost elections. Compared to bifurcation, Jagan Mohan Reddy did more harm to the state of Andhra Pradesh.
So you have been part of a regime, where of course even if you were political opponents, but there was some mutual respect, there was some line which did not really cross. Do you think that there is a lot of personal animosity between Jagan Mohan Reddy and you? It's very personal, it's very targeted?
It is not personal animosity. Who is he? Why should I have? Even much earlier his father, I became chief minister. So he is a typical personality. He wants to destroy dissent voice at all. And also he wants to deal with or suppress all political parties, either social activists or public or political leaders or political activists. That is how he is behaving.
But he has been saying that he got you punished because you were very corrupt and you were the most corrupt chief minister. That's the reason he decided to get you jailed. Will you also at some point in time think that he probably is also corrupt? Would you want to take revenge if you come back?
What I am saying, so far nobody can blame me that I am corrupt. As on today, for the last 45 years, I have contributed so many things for this great nation. My integrity, nobody can suspect. No inquiry at any time. Even my political opponents wanted to create some problem. They couldn't do that. Even Rajshekhar Reddy went to up to Supreme Court every election. Even they passed some strictures. Where is the evidence? Why you have come? Whenever there is election, mudslinging is not correct. Don't come. That is how they dismiss in all cases. This fellow, there is no case, nothing. He manipulated all these things and without informing me, without giving any notice, he arrested.
Also the fact that, sir, there are several issues as far as Andhra Pradesh is concerned which are still not known. Now you spoke about Amravati being the capital of the state. We do not really know because he has been, the present day chief minister has been speaking about having 3 capitals. Can Andhra afford to have 3 capitals? What is the logic?
There is no logic. Something I start, they want to destroy. Everything, what I started, I completed, nearing completion also. He has done all these things. One example I am giving. I started High-Tech City. I conceived the project of Outer Ring Road. Almost all blueprints, everything I prepared for International Airport, even Genome Valley. Some projects I completed, some projects were ongoing. Never Rajshekhar Reddy destroyed. Immediately he succeeded. Then after that, Rosaiah, Kiran Kumar Reddy, KCR, now Revant. All chief ministers.
Now speaking of the Prime Minister, you of course walked out of the NDA alliance in 2019. You were part of the alliance in 2014. Why have you come back to the NDA fold, sir? Is it for the state of Andhra Pradesh or is it for your own selfish political interest?
We don't have any selfish political interests. Andhra Pradesh is in doldrums. He borrowed nearly 30 to 14 lakh crores. He mortgaged collectorates. He has taken money by pledging excise income for next 25 years.
At one point in time, Andhra Pradesh was known as entrepreneurs, you know, Andhra, the kind of development you really see. Now that you don't have too much of companies coming, jobs is something which a lot of people on ground have told us. Is that going to be your biggest focus area if you come to power?
So what I'm saying, as a chief minister, we have to attract investments. You have to create positive environment. Even Amaravati, it is a very important capital. After 10 years, he is talking about 3 capitals. Who are the losers? State is the loser. Always, any capital for that matter, it is the center for wealth creation, employment generation, and revenue generation. Now, after 10 years, he is saying 3 capitals, nothing has been done. Even there is no confidence that he will do something.
Also, I must ask you this very important question. We've seen what's happening in the political scenario nationally. You have parties that are talking about having a caste census in place. You have parties which are talking about giving reservation to Muslims. What do you have to say about issues like this, giving reservations to Muslims or even caste census?
No, we will protect that reservations for Muslims. We are doing that. Now I am doing skill census. Opportunities globally and locally and nationally. Then I want to build required skill for the individuals. If you do that, opportunities will be multifold.
Do you think this country needs to have any reservation on the basis of religion? Is that what is required, or the marginalized sections should get removed?
Ultimately, economic criteria will be the main criteria for reservations.
Also, what we have seen, the Congress parties have come out and really say is that they want to do a wealth, calculation. They want to do they probably were speaking on inheritance tax. So for example, suggesting to an extent that if your family has inherited some wealth, then 50% of that or something like that should go to the public. This has been slammed in a big way by the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and all the BJP leaders. What do you have to say about this kind of a thing?
No, ultimately, which is the better for India, we have to think. Now, thanks to technology, we can go different way of creating wealth. I can say one thing. We are all responsible in the initial stage. P3 model, public-private partnership.
So the question is that why should anybody know how my parents are earning money, how my parents have saved money, and because the Congress wants to do that kind of a survey, they want to do a survey of the wealth of the people of the country, and why should anybody take away my father's wealth from me?
So what I am saying, that is vague. What I am saying now, empowerment with focus approach and for people, family members as a capital, people as capital. As on today we are thinking land is a capital, asset is a capital, or money is a capital. We have to change the approach. People as capital, investment on people, whether human resource development, skill upgradation, what are so many things. Then plan it accordingly. Top 10% of the high bracket to look after bottom 20-25% of the poor. Have a vision, short term, medium term, long term, how to empower them, how to bring them at par others, or empowering continuously above all.
How do you see the future of the India Alliance? They seem to be having a lot of differences. Do you think the India Alliance can come together and do anything? Because you know the other side of the coin as well.
No, I am in politics for the last 40 years. I have seen ups and downs. I have seen all political parties. Even National Front, NTR started. At that time, BJP, left parties and central parties together. Then I created UF. We took support from Congress from outside, not in the cabinet. Then central government. Then again, I joined NDA. 6 years without taking any positions I supported. So we had all this experience. Now Narendra Modi is doing good work. He is giving stable government. Because of that, India got recognition globally. Indians got recognition.
You know, his whole dream of talking about the fact that Viksit Bharat will happen by 2047. You have also been thinking ahead of your time. Do you think he has a vision in place for that when he speaks about a developed India by 2047? The Prime Minister's pitch for Viksit Bharat?
I am 100% confident. Only the economy globally, that means bigger economy, only India. India is growing reasonably well. For that, again, Prime Minister is giving proper leadership. If we do same thing, we will become one or two, either first economy or second economy. And by default, Indians globally will be number one. Two angles. One is corporate governance, another is public governance. For that, two reasons. One is we are very strong in IT, that is the backbone for knowledge economy, and young population. Young populations are doing extremely well in entrepreneurship. Now AI has come. First mover advantage automatically will get that advantage. So with all this background, now on service sector, knowledge economy, Indians are going to play very crucial.
Also, my final question to you, you're voting on the 13th of May. Your exam result is going to be out on the 4th of June. What are the numbers that you're setting for TDP? Because you have elections both in the state as well as for parliament.
We are working 24 plus or 25 out of 25 MPs and assembly 160 plus.
All right, that's quite a target that you set for yourself. We'll catch up with you again on the 4th of June. But after a long day of travel, we've finally been able to get all the questions from Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, who of course has been talking about a developed India, has been talking about a developed Andhra Pradesh, and also his focus has been on empowering the youth in particular. With me is Umesh Sharma, on board Payal Mehta for CNN News 18.